Welcome to the Working Man Committee Podcast, Weekend Edition, February the 12th, Super Bowl Sunday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And this, of all media coverage, has been talking about how two black quarterbacks are facing each other. Yes, making a big deal of it. Morning talk show, Morning Sports Center has brought out Doug Williams, brought him out. Doug, how you feel about there being two black quarterbacks playing against each other? Now, question is, so like I said, they're making a big deal of it. But you know why? You know why they're making a big deal? Because like I said, black coaching hiring this cycle is probably not gonna be. It's only gonna be one. D'Amico Ryan is probably the only black coach getting hired this season, this session of off season, with the like I said, all the other coaches being Caucasian. But like I said, I've digressed on that, and so we're looking at like, hey, so we got, you know what I'm saying, Jalen Hurts, starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Patrick Mahomes, starting quarterback of Kansas City Chiefs, are going head to head today in Super Bowl Sunday. And like I said, I know the Super Bowl brings out a lot of people that don't know and watch football. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Super Bowl parties, and also people that watch that just want to hang out and look for the commercials or want to see the halftime show with Rihanna this year. And so I look at it like this, y'all. It should be a good game. I'm taking Philadelphia Eagles, and like I said, it should be a closer game. Probably Philly by a touchdown and so forth. And like I said, y'all check the game out, and then we'll see on Monday's edition of the Working Man Committee Podcast if indeed the Philadelphia Eagles are champions. All right, let's go. Let's talk. Let's talk about what happened in the week that was. So we had another flying object flying towards America from the other side of the world. And this time, there was some different reactions. Yes, different, very different. So like I said, if you all think back, there was a video there was the balloon floating last week, the week before last, and this balloon floated from around Alaska, through Canada to Montana, stopped in Montana, check out the sights and sceneries, and then trucked his way all the way across the country to North Carolina, and then went to the beach, went to go hang out at Myrtle Beach, and then was shot down in Myrtle Beach. And then remember when Joe Biden said, I ordered it to be shot down on that Wednesday before it was shot down on that Saturday. And so in that Wednesday, this item was sitting over Montana, just checking out the sceneries and so forth. And so this time was different. So I guess they realized that was a bad look to let this balloon just hang out. So this time, soon as it came into U.S. airspace via Alaska, it was shot down immediately. So I guess Biden in turn said, shoot it down. I mean now. And so they shot it down. Like I said, the optics of last time was horrible. And so this time, they're more proactive. And so now, and so forth. But let's talk about the last balloon. So the other balloon, like I said, they shot it down with 50 feet of water, and they still haven't recovered it all off the bottom of the sea floor because there's some storms out there and so forth. My thing is this: if it's gonna be hard to get out of the ocean, might have should have shot it down over land and figured it out. I know there's a lot of smart people that could have put it back together and seen, or not even put it all the way back together, just seen what it was and how it was constructed, and if there was, like I said, a microphone in that thing, a cell phone, anything that I said they probably should have, you know what I'm saying, known that the Chinese were doing something. Yep. So we got that on hand, and my question is this, right? This is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and also this is when the talk shows interview all the political people. So all the political talk happens on Sunday morning. Republicans. This question is for Republicans. GOP. Yes, the GOP, the Republicans, House and Democrat, even governors and so forth. Why, oh why, do y'all continue to go talk to ABC this week with George Stephanopoulos? I do not understand that relationship and why y'all have to go talk to him. Now you're like, hey, we gotta talk to everybody. We gotta be fair and balanced. We make media availability to everybody. But like I said, this George Stephanopoulos famously was part of the Clinton White House, so he's a Democrat. He gives money to Democrats. He supports Democrats, and he interviews Democrats versus Republicans very differently. And it shows. This is a bias. When it comes to a Democrat, he a Democrat. He already know. He already on the team. Y'all saying softball questions and so forth. Like today, for instance, he talked to Chuck Schumer today. Chuck, do you think President Biden should run again? He's got 34% of Democrats saying that he shouldn't run again and he should just let the next person get in there. And Chuck was like, "Oh, well, Ronald Reagan had the same numbers, but we know how that turned out." Yeah, you're right, Chuck. You know what I'm saying? We do know how that turned out, and Reagan won in a landslide and so forth. And then Chuck, what's the plan for the debt ceiling? Y'all think y'all gonna get something done? Oh, Chuck was like, we gonna wrangle around and get a clean debt ceiling bill. Oh, no questions on how you plan on doing the negotiations. So, well, y'all said this gave Chuck Schumer the floor to say what he wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? Do that thing about, hey, I don't know what McCarthy wants to cut. You know, Medicaid, Social Security. Maybe that's what he wants. And George did come back and say, well, Chuck and the Republican Party didn't say they want to cut any of that stuff. He said that stuff is off the table for talking about cuts. George said none of that. George was like, just eat it up. Yep, you're good. And then at the next thing, so the House Oversight Chair James Conner comes on from Kansas, and so he asked James. He was like the investigation y'all looking to Hunter Biden and his business dealings. What do y'all plan to get away with that and get from that? And then so George passed the turn. George looked like they were, you know what I'm saying, old James that talked about his mama or trying to slap George's wife or something, because George hold me to change in a split second on that. And then he asked George, he was like, well, y'all, what about Jared Kushner? Jared Kushner had some business dealings and so forth that looked a little skittish. Did you in turn talk to George Kushner about the $2 billion that he was talking about the Saudis when he was in office? And he's like, yeah, we gonna. He was like, hey, we. And then James was like, well, we need to strengthen the disclosure laws and so forth. We looking at doing that, changing the laws, make that if you're gonna be in public office, that you must disclose everything to be in public office and so forth. So we looking at both sides. Cause like I said, I see wrong over here. If it's wrong here, it's wrong there. We won't blanket wrong. And George come back. This is Jared Kushner. Do you think Jared Kushner is wrong? Do you think the Trump family should be looked at even harder? And he's like, hold on. He's like, we're gonna discover, you know what I'm saying, look at the laws and so forth. And George comes back. Are you gonna condemn George Kushner? Are you gonna condemn him? And he was like, James was like, well, George, he said Kushner came in. We interviewed Kushner and so forth in the committee, and he was very forthcoming to what his business dealings was. But Hunter Biden, we trying to get him in, and we having trouble getting him in and so forth. And then George Stephanopoulos at the end says, so you're not gonna say that George Kushner, that Kushner should be condemned in any way? I'm like this. As I'm watching this, y'all, it's like, how And why did Republicans go over here and talk to this guy? I mean, it's night and day. You see that in 2 segments. He didn't like take a segment off and say be nice to the next guy and then go hard. He was like he went from I'm happy to see you, Chuck Schumer. Oh, we old buddies, you know what I'm saying? To James Conner, hey man, I hate it. He was like ready to battle James Conner. So like I said, Republicans, this is a question to y'all. Why do y'all continue to talk to George Stephanopoulos? I don't get it, especially in election years. Y'all let him run debates and so forth, and that should be cut off completely. The DNC, the RNC chair. It's a you ain't doing your job if you're not shutting down those interviews. If you ain't stopping it all the way, side to side, top to bottom, left to right, then y'all have a problem. Yep. Yeah, all right. And then so in our last topic for Sunday is there was there's been still rescue efforts in I think Turkey for the earthquake to happen, and so let our thoughts and prayers be with the rescue. They're still finding people alive out there and so forth, and hopefully that they will continue to find everybody accounted for, and that'll be a good situation to happen out of there. And with that said, this has been a weekend review of the Working Man Committee podcast. Like and subscribe, and check us out. With that said, enjoy your Super Bowl. We'll see you Monday. Peace.